Jake Walker wasn't rich, but he was proud. He owned a small auto repair shop on the edge of town. Nothing fancy, just a place where honest work met grease-stained overalls and old coffee mugs. Most days he fixed up trucks, patched tires, and lent tools to teenagers working on their first beaters. It wasn't glamorous, but it was enough. It was just after noon on a quiet Tuesday when a beat-up silver sedan limped into his shop. The engine rattled like it was coughing its last breath, and steam hissed from under the hood. Jake raised an eyebrow, wiping his hands on a rag as he stepped outside. The driver's door creaked open, and a woman in her late 30s stepped out. Her clothes were simple, and her face showed signs of stress. She looked like someone who'd been carrying more than just car trouble on her shoulders. "Aye?" she said, voice trembling slightly. "My car started overheating on the highway. I managed to pull off before it died completely. I don't really have much money right now, but if you could just take a quick look." Jake offered her a kind smile. "Let's not worry about the money just yet. I'm Jake. You can call me unlucky since I was about to eat lunch." She managed a small smile. "I'm Rachel Moore." "Well, Rachel, you're in luck then. I always skip lunch for damsels in distress." She laughed softly, the tension in her shoulders easing just a bit. Jake popped the hood and got to work. It didn't take long to diagnose the problem: a leaky radiator, dangerously low oil, and a few loose belts. The car was running on borrowed time, but nothing he couldn't fix enough to get her safely home. While he worked, Rachel sat on a nearby bench, watching him in silence. She looked tired, not just physically, tired in that deep, soul-heavy kind of way that life sometimes dishes out without warning. An hour later, Jake had patched the radiator, refilled the fluids, and given the engine a quick once-over. He even cleaned off her windshield and made sure the tires were road-safe. Rachel stood up and opened her purse, pulling out a small wallet. "I know it's not much, but I want to pay you something. You didn't have to." Jake waved it off. "Don't worry about it, really. Just promise me one thing." She looked up, surprised. "What's that?" "Help someone else out when they need it. That's how we keep the world spinning." Rachel blinked, and her eyes began to shine with unshed tears. "You have no idea how much I needed this today. Thank you, Jake. You didn't just fix my car." Jake smiled. "Glad I could help." She got into her car and drove off with one last wave. Jake went back inside, thinking it was just another day. He had no idea that single good deed was about to change his life forever. The afternoon sun was starting to dip when Jake Walker heard the unfamiliar sound of an engine. Low, smooth, powerful. Then came another, and another. It wasn't the usual hum of pickup trucks or rusted sedans he was used to. Curious, Jake stepped outside. What he saw made him stop in his tracks. A Rolls-Royce Phantom turned onto his gravel lot, followed closely by a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and at least 6 more luxury vehicles. The sunlight bounced off polished metal, turning his modest auto shop into what looked like a millionaire's showroom. A small crowd gathered across the street, murmuring in amazement. Jake stood frozen, wiping his hands on his oil-stained rag as the Rolls-Royce door opened. A tall, sharply dressed man stepped out and approached him with a confident stride. "Jake Walker?" he asked. "Yeah, that's me," Jake replied, still confused. The man smiled. "I'm Daniel Moore. My sister Rachel told me about what you did for her today." Jake blinked. "Oh, right. Is she okay?" "She's more than okay," Daniel said. "You didn't know who she was, did you?" Jake shook his head. "No, she just needed help. That's all I saw." Daniel nodded with approval. "Rachel is the CEO of Moore Automotive Group. We supply and service luxury vehicles up and down the East Coast. What you did for her today, most shops would have turned her away the moment she said she had no money. You didn't. That meant something." Jake scratched the back of his neck, still unsure where this was going. "Rachel was so moved," Daniel continued, "that she asked us to come here today with an offer. You helped someone when you thought no one was watching, but someone was, and we believe people like you deserve more." He handed Jake an envelope. Inside was a formal letter with the Moore Automotive logo at the top. It was a partnership offer, a full contract to become their exclusive local service provider for high-end vehicles. Alongside it was a personal note from Rachel. "You helped me when I had nothing. Now I want to make sure you never have to worry again. Welcome to the Moore family." Jake looked up, stunned. "Is this real?" "As real as it gets," Daniel said. "We're also funding a full renovation of your shop, new equipment, branding, staff, if you want it, all of it." Jake was speechless. The same shop that could barely afford a new lift last month was now the official service hub for some of the world's most expensive cars. As the luxury vehicles pulled in, and his old customers looked on in awe, Jake realized something powerful. Sometimes, doing the right thing doesn't just change someone else's day, it can change your entire life. All he did was help a stranger, and now the world had come knocking on his garage door.